This conference will now be recorded.
లేదండి, వినిపించట్లేదు.
వినిపించట్లేదండి.
మీరు దాంట్లో మైక్ ఆన్ చేయండి, అప్పుడు వాళ్ళకి వాయిస్ వినపడింది. హాయ్, గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్. దీంట్లో విపిన్ కుమార్ అని జాయిన్ అయ్యారు కదా, ఒకసారి మీ నేమ్ చెప్పండి. విపిన్ గారు, విపిన్ కుమార్.
ఎస్ సార్. హలో,
చాట్ లో ఒక నెంబర్ పెట్టాను, ఆ నెంబర్ కి హాయ్ అని పిన్ చేయండి. ఓకే. రమ్య గారు మీరు కూడా ఆ నెంబర్కి హాయ్ అని పింక్ చేయండి ఒకసారి. అంటే మీ నెంబర్స్ లేవు అది రాసుకోండి.
Friends, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, 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 bro.
Yeah, I connected through mobile for audio. Yeah. Welcome back, friends. Good evening to everyone. So this is Ravi. I'm your Selenium mentor. Fine. I'm having 15 years of experience in software testing. I'm having 1 year on-site experience in California. I work for various clients as automation manager. So I am your Selenium mentor. So I'm going to be teach you like core Java, Selenium, DevOps, frameworks, and small mini project I'm going to be delivered for this course. So hope everyone is freshers or I think most of the people are working employees, I guess, if I'm not wrong. How many of you are working employees?
Yeah, myself, I'm my working employee.
Oh, great, sir. As a manual tester or automation?
No, I am from the non-IT background.
Non-IT background. Okay.
Yeah.
So what about remaining?
Previously worked, but currently not working
Okay.
as a design engineer.
Okay, fine. Seems like most of the people are freshers or some are non-IT backgrounds. Okay, fine. No issues. So the first question people may have a doubt like, so who are eligible to take this Selenium automation course? Yes, the people who are freshers, the people who are non-IT background, the people who are working as a manual testers. Okay, so who wants to change from manual to automation? Who want to migrate from manual to automation? Any kind of people are eligible to take this Selenium automation course. Okay, fine. Next question. Okay, Ravi, what is the prerequisite to start with Selenium automation? Yes, a simple thing is you must be aware of some programming knowledge. Yes, you must be aware of the programming knowledge. Without any programming knowledge, we cannot start with the Selenium tool. Okay, what are the programming languages we must be aware of? Yeah, so Selenium offers various language bindings, various programming languages Selenium will supports. What are the languages it supports? Like Java, C Sharp, Ruby, Python, PHP, Scala, R language, Dot language, Go programming, Haskell, JavaScript, etc. etc. These many languages Selenium will support to automate the scripts. By using any one of the language binding, we can build our web applications. Yes, we can build our web applications by using with any one of these language bindings. Okay, this course we are planning for core Java with Selenium. Yes, we are preferring to automate the scripts using language binding Java with the Selenium. So, okay, Java is ocean, right? So what we have to learn in Java? Friends, even Java or C# or Ruby, Python, any programming language, you must be aware of the OOPS concepts, object-oriented programming features. Every programming language, OOPS concepts is required. Even the starting developer or tester needs to know about that OOPS concepts. Okay, na? So all Java OOPS concepts will be yeah. So friends here, so we'll talk about core Java OOPS concepts. What are the core Java OOPS concepts will be covered here? Yes, project creation, package creation, Java classes, interfaces, abstract classes, access modifiers, non-access modifiers, variable types, data types and its default values, typecastings, Java inheritance, abstraction, encapsulation, method signatures, method overloading and overriding, Java polymorphism, constructors, Java strings, debugging, decision making statements, loopings, single dimension array, two dimension array, user defined arrays, exception handling, file systems, and Java collections. These are the all core Java OOPS concepts will be covered and part of the Java. In any language, these are the core Java OOPS concepts is must to drive your Selenium automation scripts. As we taken the language preferring to automate using Java language. In these, all the concepts to be covered here, friends. Most of the people will struggle. I don't know anything. So as I said starting, this course is designed the people who are freshers and experienced person who are migrating, any kind of people are eligible this course. Everything I will take from the scratch. So majority of the people will do the mistakes in three phases. First phase is without knowing the concepts, how to do, when to do, where to do. That's a big question mark. So every concept will be given very clear explanation. Okay, once you know all the concepts very well, then you start developing the programs. Okay, so with knowing all the concepts, we'll be starting the building your programs. The next step will starts. Yes, runtime errors. You know, generally humans does the errors. We write the programs in an effective manner that causes errors. Okay, you are looking here and there. You want to take some other support, how to trace out that issue. Nothing to worry. I will make you alert how to debug the scripts. If you know about how to debug the scripts, your job becomes more easy. So easily you can troubleshoot it where exactly the issue occurred in a runtime. Yes or no? These two things you must be aware of it. Okay, na? First you must know about all the concepts very clearly, when to use, where to use, how to use. After knowing that knowledge, you start building your programs. Then the next cycle starts, runtime errors. So you must be in a position to trace out where exactly the issue found with using support of the debugging. So debugging is nothing but step by step executions. We will come to know what this step happened, what is the condition, is it true or false, what is the outcome in this line. Everything we can trace out line by line execution while debugging. Okay, na? So between this, knowing the concepts and writing a programs, you must do one more practices. There's nothing but technically must be sounds good, friends. So after knowing the concepts, technically you must be very good, very strong. How can I become technically sounds good? Yes, friends, you must do some exercises. You must do some practical program practices. Okay, who will give all those things? I will share all these things. Suppose if I talk about loopings and for loops, I'll give some pattern program practices. You do practicing on the programs to make hands free. And if I talk about strings, Java strings, okay, how can we interact with strings? So string manipulation programs are there. I'll give there. You practice on the programs. If I talk about collections, on collections I'll give some lot many programs. You practice on that. Then only you can write, you can build your programs hands free. So know all the concepts and practice well what are the assignments I give, and be aware of that debugging where there is a fumbling, where there is a chance of I don't know anything. Yes. So everything we will have a structured plan. According to that, I will execute every program. So you also people has to follow me and you have to practice it. So you also get the recordings once the classes was completed day wise. You just play back the videos, because all the people are not in one go. They can get the things into the mind. So some people are slow learning, some are expert. So you'll come to know all those things. Okay, now we will go as a structured, friends. Okay, now. Okay. After completion of core Java, you are sounds good. You are fully loaded with the programming knowledge. The next we start building your Selenium automation scripts using the Selenium tool. Okay, Selenium is one of the automation tool. We have so many automation tools are there. Selenium is one of the famous familiar automation tool which automates your web application elements. Web application elements means what? The applications open through browsers are called web application. Okay. See here, if I want to automate the scripts, we use Selenium tool. What is the official website for Selenium is selenium.dev is the official website for the Selenium. Here we can see in the banner we can see here what it says. Selenium automates browsers. That's it. Which means Selenium automates only web applications only, not a window desktop applications. It only automates 100% browsers, which means web applications only. That's it. What you do with that power is entirely up to you. What is that power? Not a boost or not a malto. The power is nothing but programming knowledge. How technically you sounds good, you can manage your scripts to automate using Selenium tool. That's what firstly we talking about core Java. Then after we come to the Selenium. Yes, to work with Selenium, we have various components are there, friends. We have various components are there to work with Selenium, friends. Here we can see Selenium IDE, Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid, and also Selenium RC also was there. That got deprecated. Only these three components are available right away. Okay, the first component in Selenium was Selenium IDE. To work with Selenium IDE, not required any programming knowledge. You are supposed to work with using Selenium IDE, not required any programming knowledge. Just it's a record and playback tool. You start recording and take one test case, do it manually the flow. What the flow you had made, every flow will be recorded in backend as a HTML format. And you stop the recording after the test case flow done. Then you play back. Record and playback, record and playback. Take one test, start recording, follow the flow on doing the process, and stop the recording and playback. Record and playback. So using a Selenium IDE, no programming knowledge is required, just record and playback. So while using IDE, some disadvantages are there. In which browser we started recording, in that browser only will work. Some other browsers also works, means not all the cases. Some of the cases other browsers will not execute. Okay, now once you are testing, means the script should be run for all the browsers. We are recording the statements in one browser, may or may not work in some other browsers. That's one disadvantage. And one more disadvantage is some of the advanced elements cannot be recorded using the IDE. Some of the elements cannot be recorded using the IDE. This is one of the disadvantage. Okay, na? So we never use IDE in a real time, friends. We never use IDE in a real time. Then when we use this IDE means just for pilot projects or exploratory testing purpose, we use the IDE. See, friends, once we get a project from your client, the client will be anxiety to know how you do the testing. He asks you instantly to show how you manage the work. Okay, in that case, we prefer to go with IDE. We have enough time. We don't have sufficient time in front of client. One hour, 2 hours, or one day we have to show all this demo, right? So if you want to create quick bug reproduction steps, create scripts to aid in automation aided exploratory testing, then we go with the IDE. Okay, now just for to show the instant results in front of client, you just record and play back and show the instant results. Okay, in showing the instant results. So for pilot projects or for exploratory testing, we use the IDE, but not in real time. We never use IDE. Okay, is there any replace of the IDE? Yes, Selenium WebDriver. To overcome the problems in IDE, the Selenium WebDriver component will come to the existence. Okay, in WebDriver, what we does? If you want to work with Selenium WebDriver, we must be aware of any of these language bindings. What I said, any one of the language binding, you must be aware of it if you want to work with Selenium WebDriver. Okay, with using WebDriver, what we do? Yes, if you want to create a robust browser-based regression automation suites and tests, we prefer Selenium WebDriver. Friends, what issue we noticed in IDE? It was not browser-based. Recorded in one browser may or may not work in another browser in case of IDE. That was overcome in WebDriver, saying that if you want to create robust browser-based regression automation suites and tests you want to build, then use the WebDriver. Write a WebDriver script for one browser will work in all the browsers. That's what robust browser-based regression automation suites and tests you want to build. Use the Selenium WebDriver. Okay, you have developed irrespective browsers, it is working, but you have to run this in all the browsers. Such a way you design. You have to implement to execute parallelly in all the browsers. How can I execute? Yes, I'll take support of the Selenium grid. Yes, if you want to scale by distributing and running tests on several missions and manage multiple environments from a central point, making it easy to run the test against a vast combination of browsers and operating system, then you want to use a Selenium grid. So in WebDriver, what we does means we create robust browser-based regression automation suites and tests. After building that suites and tests, that suites and tests you are supposed to execute parallelly in many operating system and many browser, then we'll take a support of the Selenium grid. If anybody asks you what is the appropriate combination working with Selenium is, you can say Selenium WebDriver with the grid. In WebDriver, we create robust scripts for suites and automation suites, and that suites we run parallelly in many operating system and many browsers using the grid. In 1 second. In Selenium, we work with the WebDriver. Grid. Okay, na? WebDriver grid. These are the components we use in a Selenium. Okay. In Selenium WebDriver, what concepts will be covered? Let me show you. So friends, here first after completion of the core Java, then we come to the Selenium WebDriver launchings. You know, we supposed to execute your scripts in multiple browsers. For each browser, we have various driver classes are there defined by the Selenium community. For Chrome browser, Chrome driver class, Firefox browser, Firefox driver class. With using the driver classes, we will launch your browsers in, yes. How to launch the browsers? I'll show here statically and dynamically, because without launching any browsers, we cannot interact any web elements. How effectively, dynamically we can launch your browsers, I'll show here. And next is the profiles concept. Profiles and the options we'll talk. What are these, friends? If you have one test case, you want to execute the test case. Of course, the test case contains some 20 steps or 30 steps, whatever it is. Okay, you start executing manually. If any showstoppers comes, if any issues comes during this 30 steps execution, your presence will be there. You can handle it. Example to say, during these 20 steps of executions, some in 10th step we got some proxy error, proxy settings like certificate errors or notifications. Anything comes and stops your executions. Your presence will be there. You can handle it and you can process the execution. But now we are doing through automation. What the 30 steps are there? We are instructing as a script that we are executing. During the execution of the script, your presence will be there. Without your presence, you will be executing that script. If any notification bars comes, if any certificate errors comes, any proxy settings comes, will stops your execution or not? Yes or no? What, friends? Friends, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, right. So when you're doing the manually testing means if any showstoppers comes, your presence will be there. You can handle it. But through automation, your presence will not be there. If anything gets failed, to stop the execution. So for that case, what I'm doing, if any issues comes related to the browsers, I'm hands up. So for that case, what I will do, first of all, I'll take browser into my charge. I'll take the browser into my control. So I will vasikarna my browser into my control. How do I do? Just by using the profiles concept. Browser profiles. To take the browser into our charge, into our control, we will make our user-defined Chrome profile, our user-defined Firefox profile to take browser into our control. When the browser is into our control, then I can manage the certificate errors on browsers. Then I can manage the proxy settings on browsers. Then I can manage the notification bars coming from the browsers. Yes or no? Yes, for that purpose, we create a profiles, browser profiles. How do we create browser profiles for various browsers? We'll see in this. After taking the browser into our control by creating profiles, then the necessary settings will does using the options class. A Chrome browser, Chrome options class. Firefox browser, Firefox options class. With this options class, I can manage the maximizing the windows or disabling the information bars and disabling the informations and managing certificate errors or proxy settings. Any kind of settings I can do on browsers just by using with browser options class. Before doing these necessary settings, first of all, you must take browser into our control just by creating our user defined browser profiles. Got it? Next, Synchronizations. Friends, you know that scripts are very fast in executions, where application elements loading will be very slow, very delay, where there is a chance failing of your scripts because there is no proper coordination between the script and application elements. Okay, na? So how can we make sync between these two? Some synchronization methods are using. We can sync between the script and your application. We have a thread dot sleep, we have an implicit wait, we have an explicit wait, like we have various synchronizations. While using them, we can make sync between these two scripts and application elements. And next we talk about locators. Friends, here, if suppose I want to give some assignment to one person, suppose I want to give some assignment to a person. So first of all, I need to identify that person or not. Okay, how do I identify that person? How can I identify that person? Come on, tell me the answer. If I want to give some assignment for that person, first of all, I need to identify that person. How do I identify that person? Huh?
Related to the work you are going to assign, you need to assign a person.
No. I want to give some assignment for you only, sir. How can I identify you to do this work?
Yeah, by my name.
By your name. Name is a one property or not for you? Yes or no? Name is one property for you or not? Yes, first I will identify you with your property. I am spying you. I'm spying you. I'm finding you. Then I will give some task for you. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Not only name, you have so many properties with you. Starting from baby coming from mother womb, we say like, oh, baby is very colorish. Baby is very smart, handsome, weight, color, complexity. Everything comes when baby comes from the mother womb. These are the basic properties firstly we see. And after that, after 9 days, we keep Namakarana, first name, last name, surname, nickname, pet name. These are the some other properties will be for the human being. Not only this. So every baby after come from the mother womb will have an Aadhaar card. We have to apply Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card is one property. A baby is 18 years old. Yes, he is eligible for what is driving license. He is eligible for voter card. Okay, if you are staying in US means SSL number is identity. If you are working as an employee means employee is one identity. All these are the properties for the person or not? Huh? Based on need. Based on the need, we'll use that properties. Suppose you are working for one reputed organization. You must get a salary. How the salary is calculated for all the employees? What is the reference? Employee ID. Yes or no? The identity to calculate the salaries for employees is what? Employee ID. Yes or no? Huh? Suppose you are contesting in elections. What is the identity there? If you are contesting in elections, what is the identity there? Come on, friends. If you are contesting in elections, what is the identity there to recognize you as a citizen? Come on, friends, basic question.
Voter ID.
Voter ID. See, yes or no? Suppose you are purchasing some electronic goods or automobiles. Okay. If a purchaser is purchaser is asking, show me your address proof. What you show the identity there?
Either Aadhaar card or driving license.
Yes, Aadhaar card, driving license, or PAN card, we show the identity there. So these all the various identities, respective needs, we are showing that identity properties. Yes or no? If any two people are working, speaking each other, so how can I identify that person? Means with property name. Yes or no? Based on a need, that identity property you are making use to interact the person or an object. Yes or no? A similar way, we are doing automation for web application elements. How can I interact these elements? Suppose I am opening one website. See, you can see having some drop down is there, your text box is there, your button is there, your links is there, your images are there. How can I identify that elements? How you are getting identified? With your respective properties, first name, last name, Aadhaar card number, SSL number. Similar way, these elements also have some set of properties defined by the developers. Understanding? While using that properties only, we are interacting the elements to perform the actions. If we want to show the properties here, if I click on function F12 in a keyboard, developers window will open. It take this arrow mark inspector and show on any of the element to click on them. Then we'll get the properties here. The text box input is a HTML tag name for the text box and followed by its properties defined by the developers. See, text is one property, ID is one property, name is one property, autocomplete is one property. These are all the properties defined by the developers for this web element. Understanding? With using this any of the property, unique property, we are interacting this text box to enter the text into it. Getting or not? So we will talk about locators. We have 8 locators are there: ID, name, class name, expart, CSS, link text, parser text, tag name. So especially on locators, we'll talk for 6 hours because most of the people will struggle in locators in identifying the elements only. The basic understanding of locators, 3 hours we'll be talking about, and 2 hours we are talking about, especially 1 hour is for expart, 1 hour is for CSS selector, and 1 hour for doing some exercises on locators. Totally 6 hours we are occupied in locators only, where mostly people struggles. Without identifying the element, can I perform any action? No, right? So I'll make you hands free wherever the challenging is there. Mainly I will stretch more hours on that concepts. Okay now? Next is the Maven project. Friends, if we want to build any projects, we must use some build tools. We have various build tools are there, and Maven, Gradle, like this we have so many build tools are available to build your projects. Where Ant got deprecated nowadays, only available build tools in the market is Maven and Gradle. Majority of the companies are using Maven as a build tool to build your projects. So we will work on Maven projects, how to add the dependencies, how to add a plugins, how to execute your programs through Maven build, how to run a goals through Maven. Okay, na? All these things, how to add the dependency jars in the Maven, everything I will explain in the Maven build tool. And next, coming to the test-ng. Friends, Selenium itself don't have any built-in framework. Friends, once you are constructing any house also, you must strictly follow some framework. Yes or no? Without following any framework, can I see my building proper shape? No, right? A similar way, once you are developing any project, you must use some structured frameworks. Okay, now testengineer is it's not a Selenium framework. Selenium itself don't have any built-in frameworks, friends. Everything is third parties. If you want, I can prove you. Just a minute. The official website for Selenium was selenium.dev. Okay, now I'm clicking on downloads link here, and a little bit I'm coming down. There I am clicking on the other languages exist under this heading. Okay, now just read what I'm showing here. There is an ecosystem full of open source projects around Selenium and WebDriver. So full of open source projects around Selenium and WebDriver. And some of them are featured on this page. Here are number of drivers, browser drivers, bindings, which is language bindings like Java, C#, Ruby, and plugins and frameworks created and maintained by third parties. You understood, right? Selenium don't have any resources. Selenium is depending on third parties. Every third party is maintaining drivers and language bindings and plugins and frameworks, and which are maintained by the third parties. Understood? See, these are the third party team is developing the respective browser drivers. And these are the language bandings which are defined by some third party people. Okay, na? And if you come down frameworks, see here. So Selenium is often used for automating web applications for testing purpose, but it does not include a testing framework. Selenium itself don't have any testing framework, friends. Some testing frameworks that can be used with the Selenium as listed below. What third parties has developed the frameworks is will be used to build your projects. Understanding? Likewise, TestNG is one of the framework which is Java defined framework. It is not a Selenium framework. It's a Java defined framework. So in TestNG majorly will work with the annotations, before annotations, after annotations, test annotations, data providers, listeners. Okay, na? Test dependencies, grouping the test cases, reporting, skipping the test cases, how to set the test dependencies, how to set the priorities, how to rerun the failed test cases, how to parameterize the scripts, how can we run your scripts parallelly irrespective of the suits, classes, methods and test. All these things will talk in a TestNG framework. So especially TestNG will talk 9 hours along with some mini pilot project. 9 hours we'll talk on TestNG. Okay, na? And next is a yeah. So page object model. Page object model. So itself says we are working irrespective of the pages. As everyone knows that web application means the combination of pages, a group of pages together we call as one web application. Each web page contains some web elements and respective operations. Like example to understand, login is one page. Customer registration is one page. Add to cart is one page. Women's wear is one page. Men's wear is one page. Contact us is one page. Okay, na? About us is one page. Like these various pages together we call as a one application. Every page has its own elements and operations. Every page information we organize in separate Java classes. Always maintaining the things as a divide and rule policy is always the best approach, rather maintaining everything in a single class. Yes or no? We have suppose 10 web pages are there in application, 10 Java classes we organized. What is the advantage? Maintenance becomes more easy. Okay, na? And under when you are executing, we will load only the relevant page class only. Unnecessary buttons will not happen. If any issues comes, debugging also very easy. If any new enhancements come to the existing builder, yes, in which page it got impacted the business, that page corresponding Java class only, we go and update the things. So everything becomes very easy. So next come to the automating links. Friends, in our web application, majority of the elements we can find links only. How can we interact with the links? That's the automating links. A single link, how do we interact? A group of links in a whole page, how do we interact? A group of links under one particular section, how do we interact? How do we interact a broken links? How do we interact a hidden links? All these things we'll talk one fine day about the automating links. And coming to the automating drop downs. Drop downs means everyone knows that where we select options, either single option or multi options we select in a drop downs. How you select options, we'll talk in the drop down. Pop-ups. Once you're working with your web application elements, so varieties of pop-ups will interrupt your executions and stop your executions. Any type of pop-ups comes, how to handle. There are JavaScript pop-ups are there. There are HTML pop-ups are there. Okay, security pop-ups are there. If any kind of pop-ups comes, how do we handle? We'll see on here. And next is what? Actions class. Friends, some of the elements cannot be interacted directly with the WebDriver. Then we'll take off action classes. Then we'll take a support of the actions class. Like some of the advanced elements cannot be recognized directly by WebDriver. Then we take a support of actions class. Like mouse overing. Some of the elements, once I mouse over, some elements will get populated. Some of the elements, once I mouse over on that, then only some list of items can be populated. That's called mouse overing elements. Right clicking, any double clicking, chain actions, dragging and dropping elements, automating the slide bars, like this kind of advanced elements directly cannot be performed by the WebDriver. Then we'll take a support of the actions class. And JavaScript executors. With the WebDriver, how you interact the web elements? Through JavaScript executors also, we can interact the web elements in performing the actions. We'll see on this. And automating Windows components. Friends, my Selenium purely automates the web application elements only, not a window desktop elements. Suddenly, when you're working with the web elements, suddenly if any window elements comes, my Selenium will do hands up. What I can do there? Yes, nothing to worry. If that case occurs, yes, we have various window automation tools are there as a freeware, like AutoIT, Sukuli, robotics, like these Windows automation tools are there. By using any one of the free window automation tool, we can handle that Windows elements which is occurred during your web application execution. Okay, na? So we prefer AutoIT because it's a very user friendly. Okay, I will show you how to install AutoIT, how to write a AutoIT code, how do we compile the AutoIT code, how do we associate this AutoIT code into your WebDriver scripts. Everything I'll show end-to-end flow one fine day about automating Windows elements or Windows components. Next is web tables. Friends, some of the elements will be placed inside of web tables. You know, web tables contains rows and cells, rows and columns. In particular row, in particular cell, some element can be placed. The element can be anything. That can be link, that can be text box, that can be checkbox or radio button or link, whatever element placed in that table. I need to interact that element while traversing on the web table. First you find the table. In the table go to the row. In that row find the TD. In that TD retrieve that value. Is that matching with your expected one? Then you perform action on that element. Okay na? So working with web tables, we have static web tables are there. We have a dynamic web tables are there. We have a date pickers are there. Web table paginations are there. Various types of web tables. How do we interact the elements? We'll talk on this web tables. And next is the data sources. Friends, once you're automating your scripts, means the script contains group of steps. Every step requires some input data. Yes or no? If you are working for customer registration, you must give some inputs or not. First name, last name, date of birth. Yes or no? City, address, phone number, email address. Yes or no? You must give all the inputs or not?
Yes.
So where we organize this data? Friends, we have various data sources we have where we can organize our test data, like log4j, properties files, XML files, and Microsoft Excel. These are the various data sources where we can organize our test data giving to our scripts. Especially on this we'll talk about 10 to 11 hours on this. Okay na? And next is the grid. Yes. After building your test case, you must execute that developer test cases parallelly in many computers and many browsers with the support of the grid only. If you want to work with grid, you must do some setup like hub and nodes. Hub is a kind of server, node is a kind of clients. One hub, multiple nodes. And there we use some classes, desired capabilities, remote WebDriver classes. We will connect to that nodes and we will execute them parallelly in many systems and many browsers. Okay, now all these things will be covered in a Selenium WebDriver and Grid. And next we talk about DevOps. Friends, DevOps is a culture. DevOps is a culture which have some various components, like Maven, GitHub Server, Gradle, Jenkins, Chef, Puppet, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, etc., etc. So many components together we call as a DevOps as one culture, where DevOps will be used by the developers, will be used by the testers, will be used by the integration team and deployment team. Almost every sector people use the DevOps component. Where being as a tester, we also use some of the components like Maven, GitHub Server, Jenkins. So we build every project using the Maven build tool, and we collaborate the developer project across the team members with the help of the GitHub server, and we schedule the executions automatically, hourly, weekly, monthly, soon after code is committed in the GitHub server. How you want to schedule your build executions through Jenkins only it's possible. So the full process is going to be automated. To make understand to better way, see, suppose I want to manufacture one BMW car. Do you believe all components of BMW, all the parts are belong to the BMW or some third party vendors? Manufacturing one BMW car, brand new one, all the components of BMW are belong to BMW only or some third party vendors? Huh?
Some third party members also.
Yes. So bucket seats are manufactured by some other vendors. Tires are manufactured by some other sports company. Okay, nuts and bolts something, engine is something, body is something, chassis by some other something. So all these components together, we build as a brand new BMW car in a BMW workshop. Yes or no? The same way, DevOps is one workshop. You have used all the components to drive your executions. So build here and collaborate across the team and schedule the executions, everything, it automates the process. Okay, na? And we use the frameworks. Here we use testengineer framework, page object model framework, data driven cucumber, and finally we see some project and benefits you get of these trainings. You will be getting the soft copy material for Java and Selenium. Soft copy material for Java and Selenium, and you'll get recorded videos for 6 months, view access for every Java, Selenium project, everything, and source code. So whatever I build programs, Java, Selenium or project daily basis, that every code I will commit in GitHub server, I share to everyone on daily basis. Source code will share through GitHub server for Java, Selenium project, everything. Understood, friends? And doubts are always encouraged in asking the session, friends. Feel free. If you have any doubts, it's genuine one related to your course, then you can happily to ask in stopping me. Okay, na? And I will give some practical programs on Java. When we talk about Java, you must do the practices and you have to give back to me. And when we talk about Selenium, I will use some scenarios to practice. Okay, na? Knowing the concepts, there is no use. You must be involved. So daily, say 1 hour class is going on means 3 hours of practice you must do, friends. Seriously, I'm saying that. Okay, na? And that too, I prefer everyone to wake up early in the morning 4 4 to 6 is the Brahma Muhurta. You can easily get the things in an easy way, in a better way. In early late nights and afternoons, if you're sitting and learning the things, that makes 3 hours to learn. The 3 hours efforts you can put in early morning only in 1 hour only. Even I believe, I wake up early morning. If anything I want to learn, in early morning only I prepare anything new things I want to learn means. So even I suggest my team people also to follow the same thing. Okay, na? Please, you must do minimum 2 to 3 hours of practice. Then only it makes you success in getting the job, friends. So my classes will makes you to get into the job. So like you can put like experience 4 to 8 years. 4 to 8 years of experience you can put after completion of my training. So everything I'll give pin to pin. I'll give the concept. Every clear explanation I'll give that. You can face the interview also. You can work with hands free without taking anyone's support also. Okay, na? And just follow that recordings and follow my classes. Definitely you can crack the interview also. Okay. Doubts are always encouraged in asking the sessions. Feel free if you have any questions in the session. These are the benefits you will get. Daily the session will goes on 8 to 9. Any doubts, friends?
హాయ్ గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్.
Yes, sir.
టుమారో కూడా సేమ్ టైం అండి సెషన్. అందరూ సేమ్ లింక్ లోనే జాయిన్ అవ్వండి. రేపు కూడా లింక్ ఏం మారదు. సేమ్ టైము సేమ్ లింక్. ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ మీకు రేపు రిమైండర్ కాల్ చేస్తాము ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ కోసం. సేమ్ లింక్ జాయిన్ అవ్వండి. రేపు కూడా సేమ్ టైం. ఎవరికైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే ఒకసారి అడగండి ట్రైనర్ కానీ మమ్మల్ని కానీ.
Any doubts, friends? You have? Let me know. Okay, friends. If you don't have any queries, we are good to stop for today. Shall I?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Good response. Come on. Okay, friends. Be active, friends. I'll put some questions daily, everything, friends. Because I'm not only giving the trainings, I will make everyone to participate in the class. That's the main motto. So I'm asking the questions also, written questions, because keep on you listening, keep on I am saying that there is no happy, there is no kick, right? Okay, so you all must be participate. I'll put some questions also to you all. You must be able to answer, friends, because you will answer that, definitely will answer that. Okay, na? Yeah, come on. Okay, friends, if you don't have any queries, we are good to stop for today. Okay, yeah. Thank you, friends, thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.